I'm Nancy Miller, Chair of the University of Toledo Foundation Board, along with Brad Rieger, who is the Vice Chair, and Tiffany Cavanaugh, who is the Chair of our Development Committee. Our special guest today is Dr. James Holloway, 19th President of the University of Toledo. We're honored to have him share his valuable time with us this morning. And we actually have a couple guests who are here also. Rocky and Roxy have come in to learn more about Dr. Holloway. Dr. Holloway's tenure began on July 15th of 2025 when he joined us after serving as Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs at the University of New Mexico. Prior to his service in New Mexico, he served 3 decades at the University of Michigan, where he held several leadership roles, including Vice Provost for Global Engagement and Interdisciplinary Academic Affairs, Vice Provost for Global and Engaged Education, and was Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education in the College of Engineering. He also taught courses on nuclear engineering, computing, education, and mathematics, and as a professor of nuclear engineering and radiological sciences. Dr. Holloway is excited to continue to broaden his UT's reach in Northwest Ohio and beyond. He wants to showcase our dedication to service through discovery. So Brad, let's take a look at Dr. Holloway's personal journey and what he has learned over the past few weeks.
Dr. Holloway, it's great to be here with you. And Nancy's intro outlined your very impressive career path. But what would you want what would you want people to know beyond that about your personal journey to the presidency here at the University of Toledo?
So Nancy, Brad, thanks for the introduction. Thanks for the question. I think the maybe the most important thing for folks to know is that I really approach the role of university president as a role of service. The purpose of the president and the president's team is to create the environment, create the support that lets the amazing people at the University of Toledo do their work. The folks who educate our students, the folks who take care of patients in Northwest Ohio, the folks who put on those amazing athletic events that we have. Really, I view my role, our job is to help create the environment that makes all of that possible. Because really, the university is here to serve the people. We don't exist for ourselves. We exist for the city of Toledo, for Lucas County, and for the region. So I think it's important for folks to know that. Really, I approach this with a mindset of service.
What attracted you to the University of Toledo? Why did you pursue the presidency?
I loved that the University of Toledo was about Toledo. From its very founding in 1872, it was created as an institution to support and further the town. And the University of Toledo has never lost that. It's about this region. I keep saying it, Toledo, Lucas County, the region, but because that's who we are, that's who we're about. That to me was the most important feature of the university. It's in our DNA as an institution. It was also very attractive that the university is situated in a region of Northwest Ohio that's maintained a manufacturing base, right? So there are important companies here, there are financial companies here, there are manufacturing companies here, autos, medical devices, financial companies. That gives us a great environment in which to contribute. And so that was also very attractive.
You're a couple weeks on the job now. What's your initial impressions of the university community and the level of engagement with the alumni and donors? Amazing
people. Every place I look, I find amazing people. Our students, the students I've interacted with have been just amazing, energetic, enthusiastic, bright people who want to do things for their futures, for their families' futures, for their communities' futures. Amazing staff who want to make this university run and go. Amazing faculty who want to educate, discover new knowledge. Amazing healthcare providers. It's just been a glory for me to meet these folks and see what they're doing. So really in these first few weeks, just meeting this amazing group of people. And I've had a chance to meet a lot of alumni, a lot of donors, a lot of folks who support the university and what we do. And same story. And what runs through everything, every conversation with folks in the university, with our alumni, with our supporters, is they love the university. They love the place, they love the university. They want to support it and help us help this region thrive.
All right. Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm actually just super excited and thrilled to be here.
Thanks, Brad. Tiffany, maybe you can explore a little bit further Dr. Holloway's thoughts on philanthropy on our campus and at the medical center.
Certainly. Thank you, Nancy. Well, good morning, President Holloway. Welcome to Toledo. We're happy to have you. How do you define philanthropy in the context of higher education?
Well, first, Tiffany, thanks for the question. Thanks for being here and for your support. I think that philanthropy is really about giving back. So for folks who have found some success in their life, philanthropy is an opportunity to give back, to pay it forward, whichever phrase you want to use, but it's about recognizing that each of us who has had some success had that success because other people invested in us. And so philanthropy is a chance for us to invest in other people, in the rising generation, and in new healthcare workers. And so, I really start with thinking about how is philanthropy meaningful for the donor, for the person who is supporting us? Because really this is about understanding where they want to make a difference, where a donor wants to help make a difference in the world and in this community. We start there, and then we explore, well, where does that overlap? Where does that align with the kinds of things that the university and the health system are doing? And you can always find those overlaps. So for me, philanthropy is about building partnerships. It's about building partnerships with those who have the capacity to support the amazing work that's happening here. Kind of a common theme with I approach the work in the university as work of service. I approach the work with the community, with our donors, with our alumni as work of partnership. It's about understanding where we can help each other achieve our goals. It's incredibly important work. And so the work that the foundation does, the work that the Alumni Association does to help alumni, donors remain connected with the university, help us amplify our message to those folks. That's super important work. And it's work that is in support of all of those things that I mentioned. The generosity of our donors enables someone's mother to live through healthcare. It enables a young person to start a life, build and contribute to their community. There's so many things that wouldn't happen if it weren't for the generosity of the donors who support us.
Thank you. So, and I think you touched on this, but if you could just maybe go into a little bit more detail, what role do you think philanthropy plays in UToledo's actual mission and objectives?
Well, so there are so many things that we can't do without philanthropy, right? And so when we think about our educational mission, we have amazing students who can be contributors to the world, but they need support in order to be able to go through this educational journey, spend the time to learn and grow and develop the talents that they have. And so that philanthropic support for students, that student support, it's kind of number one in terms of where philanthropy and the university intersect, because so many students very bright, incredible people, but couldn't make this work without student support that comes from donors. And so that's critically important. When we look at the healthcare mission, there are new treatments that we wouldn't be able to develop if it weren't for the generous support of donors. When we look at the athletic mission and all the ways that it contributes, so many ways that our athletic achievements would be diminished if we didn't have the support of donors and philanthropic giving. And to use that example, University of Toledo is top in the MAC the last 3 years, right? So we're the most successful athletics program in the MAC for over the last 3 years. 13 championships over that period of time. That wouldn't happen without the support of our friends and the philanthropic giving that they can provide. And so in all of those ways, really it's, donors allow that mission of the university to happen.
Okay. Well, and as I'm sure you're probably seeing, our Rocket Nation is very passionate and very supportive and very generous. What do you think UToledo can do to further separate ourselves from other organizations in terms of philanthropy? How can we help ourselves stand out?
I think the first thing we can do is make sure that we're doing a really good job of telling our story, of telling the story of what the University of Toledo does, what we achieve, what our students, what our graduates achieve. I view a lot of our work as education. If we can educate potential donors into what we do and help them see where their interests align with what we're doing, then that will already help us stand out. That will already drive us towards greater heights of philanthropic giving. I think the other thing that we can do as part of that is really make sure that folks are engaged. And so we need to make sure that we can reach out to our donors, to our prospective donors, and have them engage with the university one-on-one, on campus, in very meaningful ways, coming to events on campus, coming to the hospital, seeing the work that we do in person, meeting the people. It's all about meeting the people. That will also really change and increase the level of philanthropic giving that we would see here. I always come back to the people. What's the most impressive thing that I've seen in the last 2-3 weeks? It's the people. When our students, when our faculty engage with our donors, that's when the donors really see the impact that they're making.
Well, and in that regard, with regard to the Academic Medical Center, how do you envision philanthropy supporting the initiatives and programs within our Academic Medical Center?
Sure. There are so many ways that philanthropy can support our Academic Medical Center. One of them is simply that philanthropy can allow us to do the fundamental research into new forms of treatment that will let us change the lives, save the lives, improve the lives of so many people in this region and beyond, because the work that we do in developing new healthcare treatments, of course, definitely it matters here, it matters in this region, but it in fact becomes national and global. So that philanthropic work that supports that fundamental mission of discovery within healthcare has huge impact. It has impact locally. It has impact globally, and that support can support facilities. It can support people. It can support the student researchers. There's all kinds of different ways, different things that support can be deployed. But fundamentally, it all leads to that same outcome: improved healthcare, improved wellness for the people of Toledo, and indeed the people of the world.
Great. And then can you share any specific initiatives that you plan to prioritize while you're here at Toledo?
Yeah, one thing that I'm really we're exploring now, and that I think is going to be really important to us, is really doubling down on the level of what I'll call applied learning that our students do. And so about 60% of our undergraduate students currently have some kind of experience that goes beyond the classroom. They do an internship, they do a co-op, they engage in research, they work with a community organization, whatever it may be. That kind of learning is incredibly valuable. What that kind of learning does is those students graduate with wisdom that they wouldn't have, right? So I've taught for a long time, and sitting in a classroom for 50 minutes and listening to me talk is incredibly important. But it does not lead to the same kind of wisdom as getting out there and actually doing something, doing that co-op, that internship. And so one of the things we're really going to push on is how do we get more and more and more students involved in that kind of practical hands-on learning. And I'll give a good example of that kind of learning. Folks think about our engineering program all the time because all of our engineering students do this kind of co-op. But I'll give a different example. We have students who learn video production. And as part of learning video production, they get to film and stream and produce the Rocket football games. Wow. I mean, what an amazing way to learn how to do video production. You're not just taking a class and doing some studio work and kind of making some sample videos. You're actually out there in a real setting creating the kind of content that is professionally created. And that's just an amazing example of that kind of work. And that's just one example. We need to do more of that. And so that's a direction we're really going to push at the University of Toledo.
Thank you.
Great. Now, Dr. Holloway, I do want to turn a little to alumni engagement, and you've kind of touched on it, obviously. As a former president of the UToledo Alumni Association, I'm really curious on how you see our alumni engagement really playing a role in fostering giving and philanthropy at the university.
I think alumni engagement, I'll start with, is it's a two-way street. And so we have to recognize that we engage with our alumni because we want them to find value in a continued relationship with us. And we want to have the benefits of their experience and their knowledge and their connections as well. And so when I think about alumni engagement, our alumni can engage in many ways, and I want us to embrace all of those. Come to a football game, come to a basketball game, that's engagement. Come on campus and see what's going on. Host a student in your company as in an internship. Right? It's a kind of a low barrier to entry, but hugely impactful for that student. And I assure you, if you're an alum and you host one of our students in your company, you'll love them. And you'll want to give them a job when they graduate. And of course, we also, as we engage alums, some will get even more engaged, more excited. They'll find something at the university that they want to support. They'll find that they want to create a scholarship for students in video production, just to pick that example. And so I think our engagement with alumni, one, we have to recognize as a two-way street. They have to see some value in it, and so we need to make sure we're giving them a great alumni experience. And two, it's a way for our alumni to discover what is going on at the University of Toledo today. Because I can assure you that what's going on today is not what was going on 30 years ago when they graduated. And we want them to know what's going on today. And as they do engage, they will find those things that they can be passionate about. And again, I want to emphasize there are ways to give back to the students, the faculty, the mission of the university at all levels. Because just showing up for a football game is giving back. Creating that energy and excitement, that's giving back. Hosting a student in an internship is giving back. Making a donation is giving back. And so I want us to encourage all of those ways that an alum can contribute to the university. And I also want us to be very mindful about the ways that we're making sure that the alums are getting what they want. One of the great things for alums is the network. So we want to make sure that we're connecting alums to each other. And so that when, if I'm out there as an alum and I show up in Athens, Ohio, and I kind of want to, where are my people? I want to know how I can reach out and find an alum from the University of Toledo and connect with them.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a big role the foundation plays.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, okay, let's look ahead at the future with Dr. Holloway. And then Brad, if you want to ask a few questions.
Sure. Dr. Holloway, I know you're still getting the lay of the land and you're still meeting people, and that's going to be in the weeks and months ahead. But if you had a paint picture of how the University of Toledo, the University of Toledo Foundation, and alumni and donors, how we work together to make things happen, what would that look like?
I think the university and the foundation we're going to be much more integrated. We're going to be much more collaborative, much more partnership between us. It's critical. And you know, I've had these conversations with several folks here, and I think everybody's on board with this. The more that the university and the foundation are kind of aware of and connected to each other's work, the more successful we'll both be. And I think that that's in service to a university that's going to be bigger, that's going to be more vibrant, that's going to be providing an educative experience that is uncommon. There are very few universities that try to get every student into that kind of practical action learning, those practical action-based learning environments. We're going to be a university that is got athletic excitement like no other. We're going to be a university that is looked up to in Ohio and in the nation as an amazing place to be educated, as an amazing place to make new discoveries, as an amazing place for healthcare.
Yeah, you sort of just answered the next Superman question, which is how do you envision inspiring the stakeholders at UT Foundation and the alumni and donors?
You know, one of the things that I have to do as president is paint people a picture of where we can be, and then help lay out a practical path to get there. And so those are the two things we're going to do, and we're starting to paint that picture now, and starting to think about, okay, how do we get to that place? But I can tell you that a key part of getting to that vision of a bigger, more exciting, more vibrant University of Toledo is going to be that partnership with the foundation, and that partnership with our alumni, and that partnership with donors.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Any final questions that you have for Dr. Holloway, Tiffany?
Yeah, one final one. So, Dr. Holloway, I'm an action item girl. I love to leave meetings with action items. And so, one question I would have for you is, what call to action do you have for our alumni and donors moving forward?
Engage with us. Come to campus. Come to alumni events. Come to foundation events. Be engaged. Be present. Learn what we're doing now. Learn where we're going. That's the first step to greater success for the university and for our work in philanthropy. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Dr. Holloway, for sharing your time with us. We look forward to your leadership here at UToledo and in helping to shape the university's future through philanthropy and alumni engagement. And you know that you can count on the foundation to support all of your efforts. We welcome you to Rocket Nation, and we only have one last thing to say. Go Rockets!
Go Rockets!
Rockets.